So I guarantee that you're going to want to give up on yourself, and you are going to get to a moment where you're doing something that you think that you're not good enough. Everything that's meaningful in this world takes a long, long time, and it takes an awful lot of effort. And when you get to the moment where you actually can tip the scales, you're going to want to feel like you're going to give up. And you're going to think that you're too silly, you can't do this thing. All of those emotions, all of those feelings, it's exactly where you need to be. So if you don't know me, I am Professor Dave Massac. I'm an Associate Professor of Innovation Strategy and Entrepreneurship. And I created this whole Reciprocity Project to give back as much as I possibly can. There's so many people that help you out. There's so many people that help me out that I want to pay the favor forward to help you out. We all feel like that. That is the quintessential moment when you know you're on the right track, when you feel like you're going to give up, or you feel like you're silly, you feel like you can't do this thing, you don't want to do it again. All of that stuff is an indicator that you're on the right track. I can't tell you how many people that are just really close to actually making the leap and they just give up on themselves because they think they're not good enough. They think that they're silly. They think that they don't want to look bad in front of other people. They think that if they make this little leap, or they apply to this thing, or that they make that tiny little jump in their life, whatever that thing is, right? Maybe you're applying to med school. Maybe you are building something, maybe a new business, maybe whatever it is, right? You get to the moment where you've been doing it for so long and you've worked so hard to get there. Like maybe you're applying to med school and you have studied so much and you think that you can't do this thing because you know that you put in so much time and effort and it was so hard to get there that everybody's going to think that you are invalid, you're a fool, maybe you've got other things that are going on in the background, and you think that you can't possibly do it because everybody is going to think, all the evaluators are going to think that you couldn't possibly be the right person for this thing. You got to remember, everybody feels like that. And that is the moment where you actually can make the leap. And if there are weaknesses that you have, remember that's a good story to tell. They're not weaknesses. They're never weaknesses. Those are the things that make you you. And those are the stories that you tell on how you actually got there. Evaluators love that stuff. They love the story behind it. Nobody has a great story if they didn't have anything along the way. They're boring people. They've got nothing to say. So nobody pays attention to them. It's the story of how you got there that everybody pays attention to. And you did it despite all of these things that happened around you. Remember that. That's an important thing. And here's the other thing, right? Like you might be thinking that I can't do this because I have this thing or whatever. Remember, you can help those things, right? Like as you apply and you learn and you do all those things, you simply adjust and you figure out ways to cope, or you figure out ways to do this thing. But you don't give up. Like giving up is crazy at this moment, right? Like you have worked so hard and it's been so much work and it's been made you feel so awful along the way, and you beat up yourself and your head is all kind of goofy. But that's the moment when you know you've actually got there, is when you have all of these emotions and they come up and you feel like you can't do it anymore. There's nothing to be said and you should give up. And golly, I mean, like you can't do that. There's nothing in this world that ever happened quickly. There's nothing in this world that is meaningful, that actually matters, that really does change anything, that happened quickly. Look at everything. Look at all of the things that have been created. They all take at least a decade, at least maybe even 2 decades, 3 decades. They all take an awful lot of time. And that is many people often working towards something, not just one person, right? Like there's an awful lot of resources. Millions and millions of dollars are dedicated to something to get it up off the ground, and millions of dollars in effort and time and just people not believing in themselves. All of that stuff is the tried and true story to expect if you're doing something that is a big leap in your life, and you simply have to just execute on it and push all of those emotions, never pay attention to them, and just keep going. No matter what is going on, you put the blinders on and you keep going. So what? So you might apply, you might do this thing, and it doesn't work out. So what's going to happen? Nothing, right? You get up and you do it again. People might judge you, but so does that judging actually affect you in any sort of way? Maybe sometimes, but for the most part, no. You just get up and you do it again, and you do it again, and you do it again, and you keep doing it until eventually it clicks. And when it clicks, then you look back and you can say, you could stick it to all those people that judged you. And you could say, look at me, I did this. And despite all of this stuff that happened in my life, I did it. And that is what matters. That's what tells the story. And that's where you have to just get up and do it and disregard what everybody else says. It's not going to affect you in any sort of way. If you listen to all of that judgment and all that stuff and it gets into your head, then they've won. They've told that story. But if you disregard, you just keep going, don't pay attention to all that negativity, you smile and nod, and you just say, that's nice. You just get up and get going. You disregard, still love the thing that you're doing, it's going to happen. It's going to happen. And you have to have that delusional belief that's going to happen to get to anything in this world that actually matters. Guarantee it. All of you who are giving up at this moment, they're winning. Don't give up.